Welcome to episode 77 of the Wilderness Podcast, your old school Runescape variety podcast on every single week. I am your host, Dilz, and with me as always is Deagin.
Sup?
Not too much. My fucking dog just...
No, I'm just goofing. I was going to change it up for a bit, but I felt bad, so I had to...
It's good. I was going to say that as soon as we started, my dog decided to jump up and start licking my dinner plate when I was like... Oh, there she is. Fucking interrupting everything. I swear my dog heard we were about to record, and she's like, you know what? Let's just fuck everything up for him.
What you have to do is, like, with your, like, dinner plates, get a bunch of wasabi and just rub it all over the plate.
Oh, she would not learn.
You just gotta do it, like, 5-6 times? Eventually.
No, she got sprayed by a skunk. I was talking about this a couple weeks ago. Every single time I take her out at nighttime, she darts to the back of the backyard to the exact spot that she got sprayed, and then she starts running back and forth like crazy, trying to get revenge on the skunk. And yeah, it's kind of terrifying. Every single time I go outside and basically bring like pots and pans, start clanging it at like 11 at night to scare anything away from my backyard.
Oh, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, apparently, but yeah, here we are. How was your week?
Not too eventful. Unrelated to RS, played a bunch of Sea of Thieves, which came out this week.
Oh, I've heard stuff about that game. How was Sea of Thieves?
Okay, so my opinion is very different from everyone else's, apparently.
All right.
So, I really like the game. I have so much fun playing the game, but no one else does.
How far along are you in it?
I don't know how many hours, but I've played a decent amount.
It does seem like your opinion's a bit controversial there. Everything I hear about it is that it's basically an early access game. Or that's how it feels, at least.
The main complaint is that the game, like, lacks content. They promised a lot, and they delivered on, like, none of it. Like, they had the open beta, or they had their betas or whatever. I didn't participate in them. And supposedly they said they were only showing 10% of what's coming out. And people were, like, upset that they didn't really add anything. The thing is, I didn't really look into the game. It came out, I found out you could play the game for free for 14 days. If you can just, like, free 14-day thingy with, like, the Microsoft Store, and then get the game through that.
Okay.
I got in, I haven't bought the game. I'm not going to, but, I just did that, like little free trial, and I don't know. It's kind of like the whole PlayStation Plus or whatever. You can get games. Yeah, whatever. So yeah, I like did that, and yeah, people complain there's like not much to do. That you see the game in like an hour, but I kind of think of it as like it's really sandboxy. So you have to like make the fun, I guess. Like, so when I play with my friends, or like mainly my one buddy, and like we just have a ton of fun.
That's probably what it boils down to, where it's a game that you need a group of people to be playing with. So from what I understand is you're sailing on a boat or a ship, and you have different roles to do while you're sailing this ship. You have maybe someone reading the map and pointing out where you have to go, and maybe somebody's on lookout. Someone's actually sailing it or steering it.
Yeah, that's what it should be. When I play with 4, it's like me and my one buddy doing all the work while my 2 friends sit and complain about how shitty this game is.
They're mopping the floors.
They'll like sit in the crow's nest and be like, dude, this game's so fucking boring. I'm not doing anything. It's like, well, it's because you're sitting there complaining. Like, why don't you like get involved, have some fun?
Yeah.
Like, I've played it like a solo with like 4, 3, and 2 people. The most fun I had was like with my one buddy, just doing like me and him playing. Because a lot of it's like, if you can just sit there and like have a conversation with your friend and then do stuff, and then like, oh shit, there's like a big ship and we're in the little one, let's try and take it out. Like, you kind of have to, it's like Minecraft, right? You can say the game's super shitty and boring because you've done everything in like the first hour, but you got to be creative with it.
Yeah, I guess so. Is there a big PvP aspect to it?
Yeah, I'd say like the main draw to the game is PvP.
Cool.
But I haven't bought it. I'm not going to buy it, so
fair enough.
Yeah, don't worry about the game. It'll probably be dead in like 2 weeks once the Microsoft Store trial runs out and everyone like stops playing it.
True.
But yeah, and then I played a bunch of Path of Exile.
All right, let's okay, now I'll give my views on the game. I've never played it, but from what I've heard, it's similar. It's a Diablo sort of game.
ARPG, yeah.
ARPG. Cool. Okay, so it's pretty similar to Diablo. That game's free, from my understanding?
Yeah.
Is it a good free-to-play game?
No. Yeah, no, it's super fun. I have like, let me check my hours actually. 237 hours played.
Wow.
It's free to play. Okay, I have spent $40 on it.
What do you buy?
So you can buy cosmetics and shit like that, or you can buy like a bigger bank where you just store your stuff.
So
that's kind of where the draw is. That's the closest thing to like pay to win, I guess, is buying like they're called stash tabs.
Yeah, that's they stole that from MapleStory.
Yeah, you can buy it. It's I don't want to get like too into the game, but like I did like 200 hours of not paying a single buck, and then my one friend's like, come on, dude, how much money have you spent on League? And like, yeah, you're right. It's like, these guys, it's like a small company, right?
Yeah,
and they like actually like they're a really good company. It's like you might as well buy something. And it's like, yeah, I do need more tabs. Fuck it, and I went and bought some. So I don't really feel bad, but
is it a good game to play alongside RuneScape?
Depends what you're doing.
So from that, I'm taking it's good if you're woodcutting, NMZ, fishing.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. Main thing is that you can. It's super like well, it's an ARPG, so it's super grindy. And, like, there's times where, depending on, like, where you are and what you're doing, you can't really just stop and pause. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't stop what you're doing to, like, click sometimes. But, yeah, I don't know.
Is there PvP?
Yeah, but it's pretty irrelevant from my understanding. I don't know. So, like, I have, like, 230 whatever hours, and I still, like, am learning shit. Like, the game's, like, really complex, and, like, I'm still pretty lost when it comes to that game. A lot of things I don't understand.
Interesting.
Really fun game, though. Anyways, that doesn't matter. RuneScape related. I said I'd have my Slayer level ready for this episode, but
what Slayer level are you going for?
55.
Oh, for your Mauler. I was thinking your main. I was like, doesn't your main have like 95 Slayer? What's the
Yeah, sorry. I should have specified that. Yeah, so my Ombi Mauler is like I don't know what it was last time, but he's 53.
Ooh, so close.
So I need like 30-ish K experience left, I think.
All right.
2 more levels. I'm like halfway through this level. The issue is that I keep getting really good tasks in terms of like when you're a mauler and you're as lazy as I am, because like doing certain tasks is like a bitch, right? Some of them like suck so hard, like getting Ankus as an Ollie mauler is fucking awful. So bad that there's times where I stop what I'm doing on my main and come over and I just do like venge other on them to make the task go faster. Because it's so shit.
I mean, that works, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit.
It helps a lot. Getting hit for 7s and then you recoil like 2 and then you venge 4, like, and you're also cannoning at the same time. It helps.
Cool. So another week you're thinking.
I kept getting, well, here's the issue. I kept getting a bunch of ogres. I got moss giants once or twice, and like those are really good tasks because you literally put your cannon in a spot, you just stand there, you get the bracelet of slaughter, so you can get more kills than, you know, what you normally would on a task. You're able to like get a kill, Slayer experience, and it doesn't count towards your task. Yeah,
that was released with the silver jewelry bundle they kind of brought out a while back.
Yeah. They have the slaughter and then the expeditious, and expeditious just is like the slaughter, but a chance that like a kill count is 2 towards the kill
opposite.
Count. Yeah. Or towards the task. So I got a bunch of those tasks, and that ended up bringing my range level up to the point where like if I wanted to finish the task, I would get another range level and become a range based account. Which is bad. So I stopped and started training melee on rock crabs, and I need like 6 or 7 melee levels that I get like 20k an hour, and I need like 140k plus per level. So it's a lot of time, and like that's hoping 7 levels is enough. It should be, but chances are that it might not be. Chances are I might have to So it's gonna be quite a while before I can actually get back to Slayer grind, unless I want to just use my Obby Maul, but It is so slow, like just straight up meleeing most tasks.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it's pretty awful. Main account wise, did a bunch, or not a bunch, but a little bit of RD nights. I think I am 82 thieving now. I'm not too sure.
Trying to bang out those 99s before that new change is going to be put into action.
For the RD nights nerf.
Oh boy, the pickpocketing nerf in general.
Yeah, 82 thieving. I did some Court Beast.
Nice.
I did some Solo Venenatus and some raids, and I got nothing yet.
Nothing. Shitty.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Nice.
I think so, yeah. It's everything worth mentioning. What about you, though? What'd you do this week?
Myself, it's been, work's kind of same as always. Things are getting a little weird, though. Work's become a little bit weird.
Why is that?
Okay, so first things first, I work in residential construction, and I'm a laborer there. So there's two types of laborers. You got inside guys and outside guys.
Yep.
Outside, you're doing various tasks, whether it's like, sometimes you're grinding out like foundation, or you're like chipping out parts of the foundation or basements and stuff like that. The other side of outside labor is you're picking up trash, which doesn't sound too fun. And usually
hauling
isn't.
Materials around and stuff.
Which I'll get into in a minute. And then the other side of it is there's inside laborers where you're working inside the houses, and you're kind of the person in between every trade, getting it ready for the next trade, if that means cleaning up or basically cleaning up. For the most part, sometimes you're just setting other things up. You know, if they lay down tile, you got to cover that shit with cardboard, or if the stairs just got varnished, you put cardboard on there to keep it protected and things like that. So I've been with this company for like 4 years now, whatever, but most of the time I'm put inside, and they usually have like, if you're a decent worker for the most part, they want you inside so that they can keep the houses in good condition for when it gets closed. Anyways, so the weird part is I got this new boss. Your bosses change from time to time. So you have the guy who's looking after, like, say 30 houses, and then you're working for him, and he kind of tells you what you have to get ready for him, all that stuff. So I was working for him for about a month. He came from a new site, and it was going all right. Me and this other guy were working together. I was training him. And then from his old site, a new guy came over, and nobody really wanted to work with him outside. So then he offered to bring him inside, and they're kind of friends. So now we had a third person there. It's a little weird. The dynamic changed a little bit. Not a big deal. And then another guy from his old site showed up, and then he came inside as well. So now you got 4 people inside. You're like, okay, normally it's 2 or 3, but 4, I guess we're pretty busy. And for the past week or so, all my lists are go outside and pick up garbage. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Like, if you're working outside, you're usually with an outside builder. And if you're inside, you're working with the inside builder. So now I'm working for the inside builder, but I'm getting jobs that are keeping me outside. And it's like, not just clean up garbage, like go clean up the wood and brick over here. It's go clean up all the coffee cups outside of the houses all day.
Nice.
It is brutal. It's boring. I think I did something to piss him off because this feels like punishment. And the other guy I got... Anyways, I don't want to go too much more into this because I'm sure it's kind of boring. But it's weird. I'm sitting there being like, definitely feels like I've been replaced without them directly telling me. I'd go and be like, hey, did I do something wrong? Feels like I'm not really getting the right jobs for what you're supposed to be giving me. No, everything's fine. All right, sounds good. Just go outside and clean up garbage. So I'm cleaning up garbage. And the guy I usually work with, the guy I trained, we get along pretty well. And he's cleaning up garbage as well. And so we start working together, and we're like talking and stuff. And then when my other bosses come over, and he's just like, hey, so I just got word from the other boss, and he wants you two to be working away from each other, like on opposite sides of the street. He doesn't want to see you guys talking. And I was just like, are you serious? Like, what the fuck is going on? Did I do something? I'm 25 years old, and you're telling me that no more chit-chatting while you're... I don't know. It's weird. Anyways, it's very bizarre. So that's it's fun. It's fun. Work is fun. Everything is fine. Non-work related. Been playing a lot of Dungeons and Dragons on the weekends. That's a lot of fun. I've been DMing for a a group of a few people, and that's been a lot of fun. We're all new to it, but really enjoying myself. It's a great little hobby to get into. Not much there, although one of the players that I met him from Reddit, just a random person from there that was in my area, but he requested that because I try to put on like music while we're playing that kind of fits it. Some songs that just kind of fit it.
Sea Shanty too.
You know, the funny thing is, he mentioned, he's like, "You ever play the game RuneScape? You should download all the songs. Those would make perfect songs." And I was like, "Dude, do you play RuneScape?" He's like, "No, I haven't played it in years." I was like, "Fuck, God, fucking damn it! I was so close."
Check the Wilderness Podcast. Check the Wilderness Podcast. Check the Wilderness Podcast.
I'll start playing that as we're playing.
So you come up to the Wilderness Podcast Inn, and you see Dilz and Deagin, hosts of the Wilderness Podcast.
Yeah, maybe one day. But anyways, we'll get into the good stuff. My RuneScape playtime seems like it's been kind of
slacking.
Yeah, I've been slacking a little bit compared to what I was doing, for the past, it felt like 6 months maybe. But so I didn't get a whole lot done. Although, that being said, I did finally get my 99 attack.
Hey, congrats.
Thank you. So, yeah, got that. Besides that, this is something new that I tried. I did some prayer because my prayer was lower than my rune crafting, and I went into Tears of Gothics and got a bunch of prayer experience for it. So I was kind of pissed off at that. Yep, so I bought about 1,000 dragon bones, and I decided to go try out the Chaos Altar. So if you don't know, the Chaos Altar in the wilderness, it's like 40 wilderness near the Chaos Fanatic. It's been there for a while, but they made this change with it where you can use your bones onto it. You'll get the same experience as using at a gilded altar, but there's a 50% chance that you will keep your bones after you use it. So it's a great way to kind of train it if you're willing to, hopefully save some money as long as you don't get PK'd. Another thing you can do there is you bring it noted, and there's a guy standing right outside that you can exchange your noted bones for the unnoted bones, similar to Files, I believe it is, in Remington. I would go and do that, and man, that is a great way to level up your prayer if you don't have that much money, because you save, obviously you save half your bones doing it. But there were literally times where I had one bone left, and it saved it 8 times. Not even kidding.
Damn.
8 times in a row I was able to keep it. I would only bring about 50 to 60 bones, because you get PK'd. It's still a hefty amount to lose, but it's enough that, I still got a fair chunk. But the good thing is, as well, is I only got PK'd 1 or 2 times, and it was because I was super AFKing it. I wasn't even watching my screen. I'd look over and I'm red barred. Oh, yeah, cool. That's smart of me. But for the most part, I'm able to get away. Now with that new change with the Royal Seed Pod from Monkey Madness 2, you get a shit ton of those in your bank, and it's just, you don't have to worry about dying and having to run back there to get it. It just makes things a lot easier. And if you want to get away, you teleport at 30 Wilderness. It's just, I found it was super easy. But yeah, I got from 70 to 75 prayer with that, and I almost want to say I got 75% more experience than I should have because of the Chaos Altar.
Yeah.
So I think I just really lucked out there.
So why'd you go for 75 prayer?
I just bought 1,000 dragon bones, and I was like, let's see where this gets me.
Okay. Because I was going to say, if you're going to go for prayer, either stop at 74 or 77.
I'll probably do it again to get it up, because it was, it cost me between 2 and 3 mil. So a little pricey.
I would just get to 77 and leave it.
Yeah.
Augury. Yeah. Now you could buy Augury if you want.
I might just put in a fuck ton of money into it and just see where it gets me. Why not? I think I talked about on the resolution episode back in the new year that I wanted to kind of have a max level account combat wise by the end of the year. So Eventually it'd be nice to get 99 prayer. Although that is going to cost me, I think I did the math, it was 120 mil. Or maybe 100 mil. So
maybe it's 50 mil with the Chaos Altar.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe even less. Because so I might be getting the numbers wrong here, but I'm pretty sure, because I looked it up. I was like, what would it get me to get to 75 prayer? And I'm pretty sure the calculator told me that it would take about 4,000 bones. Yet I was able to get it with 1,000 bones. That's probably super lucky on my part. Well, I mean, it definitely is super lucky on my part if that's actually if the numbers are all correct. But you can kind of see what the Chaos Altar does for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Makes it super easy. And a little fun thing to note, this isn't super relevant, but we've talked about in the past with our little Rev Caves fiasco, and we've discussed it in length about the ecosystem they're trying to put into the game, and we talked about whether or not it's working or it's not working. And I will have to say, doing the Chaos Altar was the first time I really noticed that the ecosystem they're looking for. There was a handful of times where a PK would show up and start attacking me, and they'd freeze me, so I'd kind of be stuck there. But I brought like 8 Ceradoman brews and anglerfish, so I had enough stuff to kind of not get killed as long as I didn't get KO'd. So I was able to sustain a lot of damage. But there was a bunch of times where I'm taking damage and another PKer logs in, and next thing you know, the two of them are fighting because the PKer instantly goes for the guy PKing me. And then I would get away. So it was like really one of the big times I've noticed that this is the ecosystem they're trying to look for. How often it'll actually happen, it's hard to say, because you really have to bet on a PKer getting you, and then a PKer who is confident in killing someone else who's PKing, but at the same time, he's also looking for PVMers. You know what I mean? It's a certain person you're kind of looking for. But like I said, it happened a few times, so it was nice to see, and it was great to see because I would get away easily. So that's awesome. I think that's basically it. I'm on a Cerberus task, but for some reason, I feel a little demotivated to actually do it. I got 160 to kill. I've been kind of plugging away at it slowly, but yeah, like I said, I've been slowing down a little bit. But I think also part of it is sometimes solo bossing isn't the most fun. It's all right, but doing it in a group is it's a completely different thing, right?
Yep.
So it's a lot more fun.
I've had Sire for over a month.
Sire or Abbey Demons?
Abbey Demons, but Sire. I just need one bludgeon piece. I don't want to not do it.
Yeah, true.
But I don't like doing it. I just want to get my bludgeon piece and fucking get out of there. Never go back to that place.
Yeah.
I got the pet.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to say. I don't know if you're going to agree with me there, but you'll definitely be able to relate and maybe give your viewpoint from it. But I have the pet from Cerberus that I got my last task. And since I have the pet, it's like kind of a really big demotivator now, because all I'm going for is the primordial boots, which are worth like 20 mil, maybe a little bit more than that. So it's a great chunk of change to get. But at the same time, you get the Bagasian crystal and it's worth like 60k. But part of me is just like, I have the pet now, so it's not like, now I'm just doing this purely for the cash. Because whenever I'm doing a boss, there's always this thing in the back of my head being like, you're doing it for the boss and the chance of getting the pet. Even the pet is worthless and doesn't really matter. I don't really bust them out too often because the amount of times I forgot I had my pet out and then I went to the wilderness to do a clue or something. A little scary. Mm-hmm. I don't want to spend the 500k or 1 mil or whatever it is to pay for it back because I'm cheap as fuck. So, but having that pet just kind of makes me go like, well, there's really no more uniques I should be grinding for because I've got it. And if I don't have it, I could buy it. I'm just going for that 20 mil drop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I've always hated Sire, and now that I have the pet, it's like I really don't want to do it. But Cerberus is one of my favorite bosses in the game to do, especially if you have the Spectral.
Yeah, see, that's another big factor is I don't have it. Luckily, with the 75 prayer, it does help because I know we've talked about how the boss works a bunch of times, but a quick run through of it, he summons these 3 ghosts every now and then. Each ghost does a different combat style. If it hits you with the prayer protection from it on, it'll drain your prayer by 30. If you don't have the prayer protection on, you get hit for 30 damage. So to make the trips last longer, you're trying to block every single one of them with prayer, but suddenly it's starting to cost a lot of money in prayer potions and super restores. But if you have the Spectral Shield, which costs like 40 mil, it only drains 15 prayer points. It's a lot easier to mitigate.
Yeah.
So I can only get like between 4 and 6 kills a trip, which personally I don't think it's too bad, but it is what it is. I got that new shortcut now if I use a Summer Pie, which really does help. It really does. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. There's just a few times where I'm like, I should be doing Cerberus, but I just don't feel like it.
Yeah, when I get that with Sire, I'm just like, all right, time to go do some raids.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what I've been doing. Raids or just dumb shit. Just do something silly. I don't know. I've been like kind of EXP wasting hard recently, just like going around doing dumb stuff, just bank standing a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean for the past like month and a bit I've been like grinding super hard just for various things, and it's like it's nice to jump on with just the intention of dick around and not really do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't feel strapped to go be making those big grinds, because I feel like I'm in a place now where my account's getting to that point where I don't always need to be focusing on what's my next skill I need to level up, where sure, you always have that kind of in the back of your head being like, all right, well, I need to get my farming up to level like 91 so I can use it in the player-owned house. I need to get my runecrafting to 77 for the diaries, or 82, whatever it is. It's a fairly high level.
82 for Lumbridge Elites.
Okay, so 82, let's just say.
But 77 for Fremennik Elites.
Ooh, and that's the big one. Get those noted Dagonoths. That's it? Yeah. Holy shit, I'm at 70, so I'm getting pretty fucking close.
Yeah.
Whew. Damn.
See, here's the thing. I've always said you don't have to do something on RuneScape. It's just nice to do it. Like,
yep.
And so that's like my fire making's level 67.
Yeah.
The only reason why I'd ever level it up is to get it to 90 for a master clue, which I don't like doing. And to get Tears of Guthix for runecrafting, but I don't mind runecrafting. My farming is like 68. I've gotten like 67 to 68 from raids alone. It's just like there's things in the game that I just don't want to do, so I don't do them. I don't know.
That's the beauty of RuneScape. You don't have to do it. Hell, you don't even have to do fucking Slayer if you don't want to. A lot of people just do NMZ or Sand Crabs or whatever it is, which, you know, does make... Like, you get a lot of money from Slayer, but as you can see, there's tons of bosses or even raids. You don't need Slayer for raids at all.
Nope. I mean, fuck, I've been on the same task for over a month. I had this, like, beginning of February, and it's like, we're getting to the end of March. I've had this task forever. I don't know. I'm just in that mode where it's like, fuck, I've been, like, grinding so hard that, like, sure, like, I'm almost there, where, like, I guess after those next 3 pieces of gear, I could go for 99 like prayer, you know. I'm pretty much there, so I can slack off and like, I don't know, just sit at the GE and talk.
Yeah, which is like, it is really nice, and yeah, it's like perfectly summed up how RuneScape is. There's tons of things in the game, but it's basically nothing that you have to do, and you see it all the time with people limiting their accounts, whether it's a skiller that keeps their combat at level 1. You see people who keep their health at 10 and they max out all their combat skills still. You know what I mean? You see pures, you see all around main accounts, but the big problem is when you're like a main account and you get hit with this requirement for something that is going to take a bit of a long grind. Like I know there was someone talking in our clan chat about having to get, I think it was 70 mining or something like that for Dragon Slayer 2. So things like that's the only problem sometimes when you're like, well, I don't need to do it. Well, it's like, well, if you want to do Dragon Slayer 2, you kind of do have to do it. You know what I mean?
Yep. But on the topic of limiting your accounts, you want to move on to the news? Because there are some updates that will help these people that limit their accounts.
Oh, fuck
and
yeah.
who stand alone.
Ooh.
All right, before I talk about that stuff, they made a couple of tweaks to Theater of Blood stuff.
Ooh.
So the Avernick hilt, or the Avernick Defender, which was the Infernal Defender, if you bring the Avernick Defender into the wilderness and you're under like level 20 and you die, it will cost you 1 mil to repair it, and the person who kills you gets 1 mil.
That's interesting.
Kind of weird how there is no money sink that could potentially be like a 500,000 GP money sink. Like getting 1 mil cash from someone is pretty nice.
Yeah, I was just going to say, every item that drops you need to repair, there's a slight gold sink from that, where the person, let's say, I don't have the exact numbers in my head, but let's say a Dragon Defender drops and it breaks, that one player gets 40k and it costs you 60k to repair it. Again, I'm just making up numbers in my head, but you know what I mean? You get the idea. So 20k is lost.
Full void range, like put it in perspective, full void range the person who kills you, like you're awarded 120k if you kill someone in full void. 1 mil's like a lot. I don't mind. I do not mind having to pay 1 mil to repair it. I think that's fine. I think getting 1 mil cash is a little dumb. Especially like just because everyone fucking rushes you while you're looting. They're gonna see you kill someone that has an Abernick, and now you know he's got 1 mil. There's no money sink here. Like, we need money sinks. Why not even like 800k? I would even think like getting 200k would be fine. An 800k gold sink, because like not everyone, like it's not going to be super popular when you're PKing. Anyways, if you're above 20, you just lose the item, like anything else.
Yeah, okay.
Any other defenders and stuff like that. Anyways, the next one is the Sanguinesti staff. It gets an additional hit over the Trident of the Swamp. So they've made it cheaper. They've made the healing effect proc more often, and it now has an additional hit.
So it's now stronger. This does bring me to the conversation I believe we had last week, was it? Where now this item suddenly doesn't feel like a 75 tier weapon.
It honestly feels like an 80 or an 85. Like the healing and stuff is nuts.
I really think they should bring it up to a 78 because they're afraid of, going up too far, because that kind of is a direct power creep, or it directly categorizes it as a new tier of weapons, which I'm not trying to rehash this conversation, but the reason why it's good to have a whole new tier, even though this thing is just a little bit better, when tiers don't really matter, if somebody has this, they probably have 99 magic or something like that, but for new players and stuff, now you can look and see, oh, this is kind of in the category of 78 weapons. So this is clear cut stronger than the 75. Yeah. It just makes things more straightforward, really.
Honestly, even if they didn't add the additional hit, I would still say bring it up to 78. Just like the heal, okay, you can go to Kraken with this thing before the double, like the 2 buffs it's gotten, like on when they first brought it up for testing, you can bring it to Kraken and not heal ever. I mean, not need food ever. You just bring that and you would just heal up to full, like you're fine. It's expensive, but you now have indefinite trips.
The only reason I would argue that before this change, that it is okay to be a 75 magic is because it would still kind of be on par with the Toxic Trident, because the Toxic, you do get the perk of it poisoning, whereas this one's the heal instead. But now that it has an additional hit, it's only 1 hit more, but it's now basically the best in slot for that. And obviously the poison does change things up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. No, but yeah, you're definitely right on this. And the fact that you just charge with blood runes, if you want to camp Rex or something, you could camp indefinitely. I guess you could just stock your inventory with you wear a Serp helm or something, right?
Sure.
I don't know, get a bunch of scales and blood runes, and you can stay there forever, pretty much. I wonder why they decided to give it an additional max hit. I don't really know, but whatever. Anyways, the Scythe of Vitur, they increased its attack speed by 1, so it is 3 ticks lower than the Abbey. Wait, hold on. Yeah, okay, so it's like a 3-second delay in between each hit, so it's 1 tick slower than the Abbey Whip, or I don't know, 2 or 3. It doesn't matter. Fuck it. Never mind. Scratch that. They've slightly increased the attack speed, though.
Yeah, the way they label it is kind of weird. The attack speed has always been weird, where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and is that in relation to how many ticks?
Yeah, each attack rate is like a tick, so it's 0.6 seconds.
So it's 5 ticks to attack now.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Never mind, I take it back. That does
3 seconds.
A little bit more sense. Cool.
Yeah. Okay, whatever. I'll buy it. It did feel ungodly slow. It felt not when I was using it, when I was testing it out, I just sat there holy, come on.
Am I lagging right now?
Pretty much, yeah. It felt really and it's a scythe. I don't know. I just expect to be a little bit quicker than a Darok axe.
My question is, can you de-weed your farm patches with this scythe?
You better.
Can you go get a full inventory of wheat now with this scythe?
You better.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Have a right-click toggleable option to be able to harvest.
attach an infernal shard to it to make it the infernal scythe where you can go harvest farming.
You harvest the wheat, but it turns into bread. And you get cooking experience.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah.
That is great.
Breaking the meta.
Yep, that's good.
Moving on to actual upcoming changes and whatnot. So this is heavily geared towards Ironman and PvPers. So for the God Wars dungeon, there's a big issue with Ironmen. Let's say you want to go kill Bandos and you're an Ironman. You go, and Bandos is like the fastest one to get kill count for, but let's say you want to go do Bandos. So you go grind out your kill count, you jump in, you're like, oh, awesome. Free room on a Sunday night or a Saturday night? No way. You jump in, you get like one kill, because like it's Bandos solos, so you get like 1 to 3 kills on task, depending on how lucky you are, but generally it's like 1 or 2. You go, you get your fucking kill of the trip, and then you find out somebody hit it like 30 minutes ago and it fully regen to full, and no one gets the loot. So you just wasted so much time and supplies as an Iron Man, and they're going to tell you out and just do it all over again. It's been a big issue with Iron Men.
Yeah.
There's some Iron Men that like do God Wars dungeons at like 3 at night, or I guess 3 in the morning on like a Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I work shift. I do shift work, so I'll just do it at this time and avoid other people and just hope that this, because it happens like a lot more common than you think, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, so they want to change it that if there is no one in the room and it's just them, after a minute or so, the boss will reset. So let's say I tell you out and I can't kill him, and 4 minutes goes by and Iron Man comes in or someone else comes in, it like the boss will like literally despawn and respawn to prevent this from happening.
I am surprised it wasn't like this beforehand, because like this has kind of been a problem for Ironmen for a long time, and
since the mode came out, it's been an issue.
Yeah, and the whole, well, an Iron Man stands alone. But like things like this that's like kind of bullshit where, you know what I mean? Just really makes the game feel really janky.
Yep.
So it's good that they're finally getting around to kind of changing this.
Yeah. Making it a little bit painless, less painful. But yeah, so there's that change. They're doing a change to the Corporeal Beast Cave. You've probably seen it on Reddit, but there are people that just literally dedicate their time to griefing Iron Men doing Corp Beast, and what they do is they'll just have an account with like a dark bow, and they just run into the room, spec the beast, and walk out, and now the Iron Man's Corp Beast is done for. Honestly, I want to say it's one person with a bunch of accounts, just like that dude that was scamming with like 60 accounts or whatever.
Right.
It's probably the exact same thing. We know there are people that literally dedicate their time to just this specifically. And it happens like it's really bad for like small streamers that stream Iron Man content. This stuff happens to them all the time.
Yep.
And there's nothing you can really do about it.
And it's easy to just see them on Twitch or whatever streaming this content and be like, oh, well, I'm going to go grief them. On top of that, I get the satisfaction of watching their reaction, which is just like, it's a real shitty thing to do, right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, look, there's Deagin. He's got 2 viewers, him and Nightbot. Oh, he's doing Corp Beast on his Iron Man. I'm going to go jump in there and spec it. And Deagin goes, oh. And I got him. I totally wasted. Look at all those sharks he just ate. He's wasted so much time. You might be thinking, hey, Dingus, go use the Corp Beast instance. No one uses that. Iron Men don't use that, mainly because the way you kill the Corp Beast is you just spec it a million fucking times, the Dragon Warhammer and a BGS and an Arclight. Like you spec it with 3 different weapons, and you sit there and you spec so much, and you're going back to your house to get your spec back. You use the ornate pool, that it's about 4 kills an hour to do Corp.
Nice.
So you're specking, so someone comes in and crashes you, 15 minutes, see ya, buddy.
Yeah.
Anyways, so what they want to do is make it that Iron Men will have their own instanced Corp Cave. So they don't want to change, like, you'll still be able to Dragon Warhammer spec and all that stuff. Yeah, so you'll have to be an Iron Man with the combat level 50 or higher. And if you're under level 50, you have to use the same cave as regular players. If you're level 50 or higher, you can no longer enter the same Corp Cave as regular players. So I wonder, hopefully it's just the corp room and not the whole cave. Mainly because, let's say you're an Iron Man, you want to go do Wilderness Slayer. There's someone scouting corp cave for people to come out of the entrance so they can go and kill them. You know, like, you want to be able to see an Iron Man if he's walking out. Be kind of weird if they could sneak in and out. But anyways, honestly, my biggest question is, why is it only level 50? You can get level 50 in a day so easily.
And what Iron Man is killing corp who's below level 50? I get that's kind of the point, but still. I don't know how I feel about this one. It just seems like the easiest way of making this change. I mean, I don't know what the solution is.
Honestly, I would say like a minimum like 100 combat level, because if you're an Iron Man doing corp, you better have base 90 stats with piety. And like base 90 with piety is level 112.
Yep.
I don't know. I think it's super weird that 50 it's such a low level.
I just don't know if I'm a huge fan of the idea of them getting their own separate cave. Part of it is like, is this a slippery slope? Like, will this set a precedent that in the future there might be other Iron Man specific areas? For instance, like Dagonoths is another one that you can easily crash them on.
Yeah, I mean, I could easily see it being possible with just the corp beast. So mainly, if you're like gonna do a corp, like little corp round with your group or something, and you're scouting worlds, you kind of jump into a world and then sit there for 10 seconds. Oh, no one's teleported in, and like corpse back in gear. All right, now go to the next world. Wait 10 seconds, because like when you're prepping a kill and you're solo or in a group, like you guys are just teleporting in and out until you get like 3 Dragon Warhammer specs or something, right? Depending on the size of the group, and if you're Iron Man, I think it's like 3, 3, and 5 or something. I honestly don't know, but like 3 Warhammer, 3 BGS, and like 5 Arclights or something. I don't exactly remember, but if you like, oh, they're not, where are they? And you jump in to go like start your own specs, and Iron Man's already hit it a bunch and brought down its stats. Like, it's the fact that like you're like the most of your time fighting corp isn't actually in the room. And so you could be crashing them by accident quite a bit. Even if you go in and tank a couple of hits by accident and jump out, because they made the change where like if you can't have someone else tank for you as an Iron Man. So I could see it only being a corp beast change, and I hope it is. And another reason is because they made this change to the God Wars dungeon too, that like the bosses reset, they don't get their own instance boss rooms.
Yeah, that one makes more sense. I know you can't do that with corp because the second they teleport out, they're coming back. You can't have it resetting on them every time, right?
Yeah, like the HP resets with corp, but the defensive, offensive levels, like their stats, they stay drained when you hit them with the specs.
Yeah, and you can't
have the boss completely reset when someone jumps out.
Yeah, or you also can't have it so that their health resets, because next thing you know, you'll have people speccing to get them low, like, main account speccing, and then the Iron Man will come in to finish it off, right?
Yeah.
There has to be, I just feel like there's a better way of doing it, and I can't think of it right now, but I think part of the problem is
people are assholes.
Oh, that's the main problem. In a perfect world, this would never be an issue. You'd have the odd accidental crash.
Make it so like dark bows just do the damage to yourself instead of corp beast,
Yeah, double it up. I just I don't know what the solution is. I'm just worried that this might set a precedent that, hey, we're now open to, changing things like this for Iron Men so they don't have to deal with the hassle. I don't know.
Well, they're doing that with God Wars dungeons, so right there's 4 bosses being changed on how it works for Iron Men, and then corp is number 5.
But it's not like they get their own specific area we just mentioned, because that's when you suddenly start raising eyebrows, where corp is a completely different monster. That I think one of the big problems is, yes, asshole players, but also I don't know how you can make it so it's easier for Iron Man to like kill, so they don't have to keep teleporting back to their player-owned house to teleport in back and forth, because that's a really stupid way to have to kill the boss.
So before the Dragon Warhammer and all that stuff, you would suicide a bunch of times and have like 3 or 4 piles of sharks.
Yeah.
This honestly, I feel like this is like the best solution. It's simple, raise the combat level a bit higher. But I don't know.
Well, where does it end? Well, when are Iron Man going to start getting their own private worlds?
Well, they're gonna get their own wilderness. That's what I'm waiting for.
Their own fucking wilderness. When does
Hardcore Iron Man get their own wilderness? That's what I want. I don't know. I honestly would hope it stops here. But
what's next? Microtransactions?
Be able to buy Iron Man status.
Oh.
Squeal of Fortune, a couple T-bows, a couple of noted T-bows, lucky T-bow. Anyways, but yeah, that's it for that stuff. They're gonna implement this upcoming week, so when you hear this episode, it'll be like the Thursday of. So it'll be happening real soon if you're an Iron Man. So moving on though, they have the Bounty Hunter and PvP world schedules. So
okay,
if you are like a Canadian pleb like us, or
yeah,
I guess East Coast, West Coast. Well, I guess more like West Coast is affected by this than anyone. So if you didn't know, Bounty Hunter World is on a UK world.
Cool.
Which is shitty if you're not in the UK.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, yeah, because you're going to be lagging on the world in comparison to like US East.
Mm-hmm.
The World 25 is UK as well, and World 92 is Australian. The high-risk PvP world, like, so those are just the standard PvP world, sorry. The high-risk is US East.
Cool.
And there'll be a new free-to-play PvP world coming out.
Nice.
So the two most popular worlds are the UK worlds for PvP content. If you're Pking or whatever, not in the wilderness, like not in Edgeville or GE or whatever. It's in the UK, which is kind of lame, but what they're going to want to do, or what they're talking about doing, or what they're going to do, is have a 2-week rotation of where the servers will be. So it would be like World 18 is UK, and then World 19 is US. And then 2 weeks later, World 25 is UK, World 24 is US. And then the high risk, 2 weeks after that, like the World 37 would be US, World 43 is Germany. And like they're going to like cycle this where the servers actually take place.
That's pretty interesting.
Every 2 weeks, the free-to-play PvP world would go between UK and USA.
It's a good idea. But my question is, when are we going to get our Canadian servers back?
Yeah, probably never.
World 18. That used to be the good old Canadian server.
Yeah, move Bounty Hunter. Give us our World 18 back. I mean, I sit in 314 because that's like the best ping for Canadians. Well, if you're in Ontario, at least for me, I consistently get the best ping there. But anyways, so they're going to be doing some rotations, and that's kind of nice to hear.
It's a good idea.
Anyways, quality of life improvements. So the PJ timer used in PvP worlds has now been applied to the Bounty Hunter worlds.
Cool.
This is geared towards Ironmen, but the fake experience drops will now appear for Ironmen when attacking other players. They've also made them respect the grouping toggle with the XP drop when they didn't. Ironmen used to just not get experience drops if they're PKing.
Yeah.
There's someone named, I believe it's ChemQ, who's got a 10 HP Ironman PKer.
Oh, that's very unique.
It's actually, the videos are like super interesting. I like watching them a lot. But yeah, this is helpful for people like him. And I think we have someone in the CC that also has a PvP Ironman.
Oh, no
so
way.
that'll be helpful for them as well. Okay, so the main reason why sorry, I should go back on this. The main reason why they're called fake experience drops. If you don't know, Iron Man can't get combat experience when fighting other players in the wilderness.
Yep, makes sense.
And so before this update, they would just get no experience drops or anything when they fought them. And like if you PK a lot, you know how important it is to see like a big experience drop and you go in and finish them off. You might be asking why are they doing this, and it's who fucking knows. For fun. So they're gonna have a 10 HP Iron Man that can like rush people forever and like, not worry about it. Not worry about like leveling up.
And the one reason Iron Man might go... Actually, wait. I might be wrong on this now that I'm mentioning it. They might have changed it. I could be completely wrong, and I kind of want to double check. But maybe it's for the emblems to get the rune pouch.
Wilderness Slayer. It's faster.
Yeah, Wilderness Slayer, or even killing bosses in the bounty world.
Yeah, that's true.
Either of those.
Even though those are packed with fucking clans, god damn it. I know I tried it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I can't even get a kill without getting jumped. Any damage received during the Lunar Isle cutscene is now cleared. So Deadman mode, there was a streamer that got stacked out during the cutscene in like the stupidest way. So they fixed that.
That happened. Fair enough.
Yeah. Upon completing the Chambers of Zarek, loot notifications are now able to support longer messages. So you can now see if 3 people got loot, if you're lucky enough.
Good call.
Using the tip jar in a player-owned house using the tip jar in a player-owned house now once again lets the owner know how much was tipped.
Okay.
Friends list sorting. So previously, players with friends and ignore lists longer than 200 entries could not use the sorting buttons.
Wow.
The clan setup did allow sorting buttons. It would freeze your client though when you did it. So you can now sort it and your client won't freeze. I need to find, 300 or 190 more friends. Like I don't add people in my friends list ever. I pretty much just have it with like other accounts and like people I know in real life generally.
Yep.
Might be like an exception here and there, but generally don't add people to the friends list.
Well, I mean, I have the odd friend I would add that I met in the game that we talk the one time and then never talk again.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of people that I'll add while I'm PKing or doing something in the wilderness to kind of see if their private chat's on. If their private chat's on, it lets me know what world they're in. So let's say I'm PKing, I don't know. So let's say I'm PKing some guy at the Chaos Altar doing his Dragon Bones. I see him. I go to kill him. I either do kill him or he gets away, and I see his name is Dilz. That's an easy one to remember. Quickly add that into my friends list, and oh look, he left his private chat on, and I know he world hopped to this specific world. So then I'd be a little douchebag and hop to that same world that he just came in, and surprise, it's me again. And
yeah.
So, anyways, I've added a bunch of people from doing things like that, not that specifically, but and then they have their private chat turned off. And I forget to delete them, and then they log in, they turn it on like in the future, and I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Is this some random? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I also got a lot of names that are like random letters and numbers from people who haven't played in so long, and I don't have the heart in me to delete them.
Or they get banned.
They might have got banned too, but I don't know.
Yeah.
One day they'll come back.
I think I mentioned it before, but when we were doing those Ironman challenges like over a year ago, I had some dude who kept fucking attacking my Ironman, talking shit, calling me a noob, and I was like, all right, added him on my pure, and I chased him around for like 3 weeks. Every time I get on like my computer, I would load up my pure and be like, oh, he's online. And like, I was at the Chaos Druids on my Ironman when he kept attacking me and shit talking me. And I would literally go check out the Chaos Druids, and 9 times out of 10, he'd be there, and I'd go and kill him. And it happened over and over again for like weeks on weeks on weeks. And then one day he never logged on again.
God damn.
Yeah. A lot of free rune off of him, but fuck me, he was a dick. He was annoying me so much I had to just kind of kill him a bunch.
And I will say, just randomly, you mentioned the Iron Man challenges, and some of our veteran listeners out there may remember some of those, and I know people did enjoy them. Me and Deagin still talk about it on how we could bring it back in the future, but it's not something we want to bring back and not be able to be consistent with. So don't think we just forgot about it. We still do talk about it, and hopefully we want to figure out a way that we can do it, but sometimes our schedules just get super busy, and we just don't want to commit to something that we might not be able to do, right?
Yep. I don't know, it was a pretty anticlimactic ending. It was the biggest value in a cash in one item, and then you just didn't even play.
I still have it all written down, so like I said, we still talk about it, so it's not something that's just like, let's just pretend that never happened. It's something that we do.
Yeah.
We do discuss on how we could do it in the future.
I know I accidentally log into them like once a month when I go to log into one of my pures, because it's like one letter or one number off from my pure login. It's like, oh yeah, standing in Lumbridge.
Hopefully in the future we can figure out a way that we can do that.
Yep.
Because it was fun. I did enjoy that. And
yeah.
I do want to mention that we did talk last week about our live on air update with the Dead Man finale, but they did kind of come out to say they gave a list of all the winners. So quickly we'll say the winner of that tournament was the NAD XCG. I don't remember if we mentioned that, but there it is there. I guess they hold off on releasing the actual names of the winners because they want to look into it a little bit more and make sure no foolery is going on.
Well, no one's getting caught for foolery. Everyone fucking cheats, but it's who's getting caught. It's like the Tour de France, right?
Yeah. Yeah, okay, fair enough. They did add on to this, I guess, release since we talked about it, about talking about DDoS attacks, and there have been reports and allegations of specific individuals being targeted. While we aren't able to police the individual's IP address, again, they can educate you on the ways you can protect it. They're going to be investigating some changes to the finals, which will help mitigate the risk of such attacks. There will be a more intense registration process in order to be eligible to complete. And it's going to require submission of real-world information to Jagex prior to the beginning of the finals. And then it kind of goes on to explain what a DDoS attack is. And then it just says you need to protect your IP address, avoid unfamiliar websites, such as clans, off-site forums, or untrusted VoIP.
Voice over IP, TeamSpeak.
Voice over IP, such as TeamSpeak. And this is if you have any suspicion of somebody acquiring your IP address, contact your ISP, your internet service provider, and you can get it changed at your request.
See, I don't know why I was expecting you to say email us at tipoff@jagex. I'm like, what the fuck are they going to do? Why would I email someone at my IP?
Yeah, they have kind of like their own Crime Stoppers of Jagex, so...
Yeah.
If you have any evidence of you or someone else being DDoSed, you can send it to the tipoff@jagex.com, and they will get the Jagex police onto you.
They'll make some macaroni art, because it seems like tip-off email just doesn't go anywhere. Seems like everyone's like, oh yeah, if this guy is doing this shit, I email like 6 times, and like, oh, thanks to the Reddit post, now we'll do something about it. But they are a limited team. I gotta give them some slack. Just kidding. Should we talk about what's going on with the community?
Sure, you got some stuff for us?
No.
Okay,
now I do. This week, if you're using OS Buddy, you'll notice a HP regen little circle around your health orb.
Right. Yep, I have noticed that. And the spec orb.
Yep. That's it. No.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
I'm going to stop making this joke. This joke, it's never been funny.
I feel like I'm out of the loop on this one.
Well, like the joke is I always say that, like, there's no news.
Oh.
And then I wait 3 seconds and I go, hey guys, I was just kidding. I've totally pranked you.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
It's not April Fool's yet.
There is, like, a lot of complaining. I guess we'll just jump into, like, the Dead Man this current season. A lot of the complaints. So they stopped. You're not allowed to mule and you're not allowed to swap.
Nope. Bannable.
But it's very evident that you can still swap pretty easily. A lot of people still are, and they're not getting caught.
It is a very hard thing to prevent 100%.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to real world trading. And back in the day, really the only way they found that they could prevent that was by putting in a trade. Like literally, the free trade was gone, wilderness was gone. You know what I mean? All these things got taken away because that's the only way they could have prevented it.
Yep. So, and you can't even prevent free. They took out trading one season, and like now people are just suiciding to each other.
Yep.
This is like where it's weird. So you'll watch a streamer. And like a smaller streamer, like not like Bodhi, you'll watch like a smaller streamer, you'll have like 50 viewers, he'll be like, oh, I'm Pking, check this out, boys, I'm getting bonk loot, mate. And then they go and they die to someone, and they're like, that sucks, I have nothing now. Okay, I'm gonna end the stream here for like an hour, I'm gonna go take a shower and make some food. They come back an hour later, and they just have like, their whole bank is back. They have everything, they're all set to go, they have like nothing happened. And you're like, that's fucking weird. Wait, dude, you had like 20k bank value when you went and took a shower and ate some food. How do you have this much? And they go, oh yeah, someone donated to me off stream. And you're like, oh. Yeah. Or if you're an average person that's not streaming and you die, you go to a gold swapper, you give them money on Oldschool, and they give you a donation and they just call it a donation, and now it's okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to be a little bit tricky about it. You can't just, like, log off this account and log back in. You know what I mean? Like, you can't log into Oldschool on that account and, like, You kind of have to just use multiple accounts now, even though most people did anyways to prevent scamming. But muling is still an issue. There's been screenshots of like rank 1 people, like rank 1 firemaker and like rank 1 fisher I saw getting killed, and both of them literally had nothing in their bank.
Yep.
Weird stuff like that. Winter Todd though, like the guy that was doing Winter Todd, that's why I bring up the fire making. The crates aren't tradable, so I believe they stay in your bank when you die. So
okay.
Easy little way to stock up money on Deadman mode. I believe you don't get anything out of it. People are still muling and stuff, but the main thing is that I guess now we bring up Bodhi is, well, this is when everyone started complaining about it. Only reason why I'm bringing him up is because this is what kickstarted the discussion mainly, was he died and then went on Twitter and started asking for donations. I don't know if he took them or not. He could have never took them, but people were like, yeah, I can donate to you. And like he had friends giving him money and stuff, which led to everyone saying like, these rules suck because it puts streamers and clan members way further ahead, and it gives even more incentive for other people to cheat because everyone's cheating. But if I'm playing legitimately, I'm not allowed to swap my stuff over. Like, what am I doing now? Like, I'm kind of fucked.
It's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Because, like, it's, again, impossible to prevent muling and swapping 100%. But I feel like by putting these disclaimers in, it prevents people from being like, what the fuck? I was unfairly disqualified from Deadman mode for swapping. That was never against the rules. Now they can go, well, you got no leg to stand on because we've made this very public that if you have done any swapping or you do any muling, you always run the risk of getting disqualified.
Yeah, I don't know. It's super weird just because, like, I feel like if you were to jump on and just play legitimately, you're at a huge, like, if you're not swapping or in a clan or streaming or, like, I guess a big streamer, but pretty much if you're not swapping or in a clan, you're not really going to look to fight people. Like, the average person isn't going to go Pking because, like, you die and lose your shit. Well, that sucks. You're better off, like, playing it safe and, like, just getting into the invitationals, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of weird.
It is weird. I did see an interesting suggestion. Well, not a suggestion, but again, part of the conversation. A big problem with Deadman mode is it is a game mode kind of centered around PKing, and the idea being you PK someone, you get their bank. So it's a super interesting idea, very like hardcore, as in the sense that you really don't want to die in this. But the problem is, in a PvP centered game mode, when you die, you spend a lot of time rebuilding some of the basic items that you had. So many players find themselves doing more PVM and PvE activities compared to PvP.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if this would make sense, if this is a good idea or not, but if there was some way to make it easier to rebuild and gather resources so people could spend more time PKing and didn't have to like you should be punished for dying and like losing some shit, but should it be like to the like the same reason why I don't really play, where it's fun the first few times that you die, like, okay, whatever, rebuild, but by like the, whatever time you've died, you're just like, okay, I do not want to rebuild by doing all of this PvE and PVM stuff again. Like, this is just ridiculous. I can't get to the point where I can PK. So I've seen things proposed where like it's easier to gather some of these resources, and they've mentioned it where it's like you get triple the fish from fishing and stuff like that, but I don't know. Do you do that to a more to it for a bigger extent? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I feel like Deadman mode is built to cheat. Like, it's bicycling. It's the MMO of bicycling. Like, you can cheat so fucking easily, and you can get away with it so goddamn easily that, like, honestly, you look in the invitationals, like, it'd be the exact same thing. Like, I bet you, like, 60% of the people in the final hour have cheated at some point during, like, through botting, auto-clicking something, even if it's minor. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's weird. I want to know, like, how they're going to be able to, like, kind of make sure they can prevent this stuff better.
Yeah, it does get tricky. You got anything else for us?
All right, so I don't know if you guys remember this, but I guess it was like 5 months ago, maybe even longer, like around November. I don't know. Before RevKs, before I just started making fun of Mahjarrat every episode. So That gives you a time frame. We talked about how Rot members allegedly like had Mod Jed like do some fishy stuff in terms of like, I don't know, but a bunch of like weird stuff. You can go back. I don't want to go like, over the whole video of that one, mainly because there is a part 2 that came out this week. Rot is a clan, I guess, and they're known for being scummy, I guess, in terms of like they're like a multi-combat clan. They've won some clan cups and whatnot, but they're kind of infamous for like pretty much if someone gets DDoS, you blame Rot type of a thing.
Yeah.
Where like there's some really strong evidence of like Rot DDoSing people in the wilderness and stuff for like bank loot. For bonk loot,
I guess as strong as old school RuneScape evidence could be, but there's a lot of accusations towards them. And again, going back to that video that we talked about before and where we discussed in length, where quote unquote they allegedly did a bunch of stuff with a JMod or whatever. But again, none of it was super concrete. You know what I mean? It was
yeah. So main thing is though is that it's
suspicious.
Going to be impossible to get concrete evidence, as in that video they like allegedly hacked into his photo bucket, but then people are saying that like it could have been a fake photo bucket account. I do know that there was some shit they posted where he like the Mod Jed's Pastebin account or whatever had like a bunch of passwords and stuff. I like was after we did the episode, and I don't know if I did like I talked about it afterwards. I remember going through a bunch of the Pastebins and finding out one of them's directly linked to a private server, which means that none of those are going to be related to Old School. Like there was like links of like the Pastebins were from private server leaks,
right?
They weren't like people were like, oh, Mahjarrat's got a Pastebin of my RuneScape info. Had like what the hell? I was like, no, it's from private servers. Like that's not Old School. But so like some things they did present as evidence was just straight up like you sit down for an hour or two and you could just prove it, that it's not like actual evidence. But so for this like I guess episode 2 of like what they released was chat logs they claimed to go back from like 2 years ago, and through like a private IRC channel they had some dude who like leaked a bunch of the logs. So like within the logs there's a bunch of things where like it's all alleged and it's like literally a pastebin of logs, but it talked about how like Mod Jed like they doxed a guy at like the clan leader of another clan, and how they mailed him a bag of salt, and like the clan leader was like, the guy asked the clan leader and he's like, what the fuck, how'd you know? Ooh, you know, that's kind of like the evidence they have type of a thing.
Right.
They have things where like Mod Jed like, claimed to like fuck with the polls for the Rev Caves to like allow, it was like every like 3 no's, 1 didn't count or something, or maybe it was like, yeah, like just random things saying that like he did some shit to make it so his votes, he could manipulate the votes, but like a lot of things like that weren't really too believable. But there were some things that they talk about that like happened after like that time frame, and there were things in the logs that like matched up to random things. There's like a bunch of pastebins of like 2 years of chat, so it's literally too much to go through. But within the logs, there was something like Mod Jed posting a video to his YouTube account that was in that video linked to an unlisted video on his YouTube account of like RuneScape shit, and that was in one of the pastebins or whatever of logs, which is kind of like, all right, this has to be somewhat legit. Maybe there's more evidence that kind of points like towards it, but I think a lot of the things that were said in it could have easily just been false. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Was a lot of weird things, just like talking about DDoSing and stuff like that, right? Saying how they have these people's IPs and blah, 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 blah. And they talk about how like, oh, we have like most of these people's IPs in the finals. Like we're going to win this easy. Shit like that. More talk about like them already knowing where the final areas are and all this stuff. And they talked about how they had Reddit mods, how they like they had them paid off, which sounds weird, but they've won like 80,000 from Deadman mode shit.
Right.
Which means they literally do have the money to pay them off if they were going to. And it is weird that like during this fiasco, like lot of Rot threads were being just deleted straight up. Some of the threads I was going through were just like, or I was trying to go back onto because I had a bunch saved for this episode. They're just straight up gone. A lot of them are just straight up gone, and the accounts are deleted too, which is annoying as fuck, trying to like get everything together, but
it's hard to say. I do feel like, I didn't know how deep you're going in with this, but I feel like this does deserve a little bit of... Think it's deserving?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I don't want to linger too much, because I honestly feel like no one really cares about this stuff, because it's just like, the fucking high-level clanning community are like a bunch of e-thugs, like literal like e-gangsters. They think they're actual thugs. I don't know.
Lockout. See, that's the thing. That's why I wasn't sure if this was deserving of the the newly brought out conspiracy music. Even though I love to turn that on whenever I have a chance.
Yep.
But the new video that came out, I was watching it. Like, when we talked about it before, I was so into this drama shit. Like, I was like, oh, this is interesting. This is spicy. This is juicy. Let's see where this is gonna go. This is kind of this is intense. And then this new video came out, and I watched it, and on my end, there's a lot of eye rolling. Because the thing is, it's like, the clanning scene isn't as big as it used to be in RuneScape, and it feels like it's almost... There's like this false intention of, let's expose this clan, but it's like, it's kind of like also, it feels like it's other clans seeking publicity by bringing out this new video that's going to get the top post on Reddit. It's... I don't know.
Yeah, or it could just be, them actually finding 2 years of logs. Like, that's the thing. This is easily believable. Like, some of the things is easily believable in terms of, like, there's evidence of, like, dudes going into singles and max gear and then Rot showing up, and then the guy gets hit offline and he gets killed.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of videos of literally that happening, where it's, like, Rot shows up. Anyways, like, they like, are known to, like, DDoS in the wilderness. But the main thing is, like, a lot of this is connected to, like, Deadman mode. That's kind of why it's more serious, because it's actually linked to, like, they have, like, $80,000 or $85,000 worth of winnings through Deadman mode. Mm-hmm. And J-mods don't get that much money. They don't get paid that, like, they're not wealthy and stuff. Like, one of the J-mods are leaving for a better job.
Yeah, if anything, they're probably underpaid. When it comes to
it's more of
industry.
like a passion thing, right? It's more of a passion thing, which is like more important than money, in my opinion. But that being said, it's easy to entice me if you've made $80,000 in like 2 years, right? And like you're a clan, what are you guys gonna give some of that to JMod or like Reddit mods maybe to kind of get an advantage? But yeah, there was like a lot of really outlandish statements that like there's no fucking way that they're talking about this in IRC. You know what I mean? Like some of the stuff like I just could not believe because it's too out there.
Sure.
But there was also another video where a guy, so I believe the dude who leaked everything, his name was like Spencer. That's the name he goes by. I'm not doxing him or anything. Like he goes by the name Spencer.
They're gonna come after us, man. What are you doing? They're gonna come after us.
Fuck them.
Oh boy.
What are they gonna do? They were like 5'5" manlets. They're not gonna do anything.
Oh,
I'm in Canada. They're in like their West Coast, fucking California. They're not gonna come for me.
I'm seeing some movement outside my windows.
They're gonna have to wade through the snow to get to me. Their legs don't even go that high. They're gonna get stuck. Anyways, so the reason why I bring that up is because someone made a Discord account that was imitating the Spencer guy and like starts talking to like Rot Zulu and Rot Matt, which are like two high-ranking people in Rot. Like one of them's the leader.
Sure.
They even show, like, they go into the Raw Discord, show, like, this is the guy's rank, this is his Discord name, and this is, the, like, look, this is the chat I'm having with him, it's the same name, like, the same Discord, like, hashtag, 4 numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's him being like, I'm gonna fuck you up, you leaked our logs and shit like that. And then, but the guy isn't even him, it's a dude pretending to be him.
Interesting.
Like, the main thing is that, like, he says, don't really think you thought it through properly when you got manipulated into handing over those logs, did you? That's what he says to the Spencer guy.
Yep.
Which makes the log seem a lot more legitimate if a guy who's high ranking and rot is like bitching at someone who he thinks is the guy who actually did it, but someone who's pretending.
Yeah.
I don't know. So like the main thing is that it's literally impossible to get evidence that goes, yeah, he did it, unless you're like, hey, my name is Rod Blank, and I'm about to DDoS someone, and it's like them giving a thumbs up at their computer, and then they like load up their program or whatever, and they're like smiling at the camera, like, hey guys, look, I'm DDoSing now. Hey, look, I'm on OS Buddy. I'm not playing a private server. Look, this is actual like I'm actually on the old school servers. This is the date. Let me open up my calendar. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's like no way to make it 100% concrete.
Yeah,
because it is RuneScape, but like. They definitely do have like a lot more evidence. I mean, if you're curious, you can go like to the Frontlines YouTube and watch those videos. The one I'm talking about is just posted on some other dude's channel, so on Frontlines.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. The video itself kind of, in my opinion, makes like a lot of the claims a lot more legitimate.
That's funny because I almost had the opposite reaction.
Well, like the one I'm like, did you see the
most recent one? Yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like these clans are in their own little bubble of like, I don't know. It's what happened to the good old days?
I mean, regardless though, it's kind of a big deal.
I mean, with the money that's involved with Deadman mode, yes.
Yeah.
But
that's it. Like that's pretty much it. Like
I'm sure Jagex cares more about not, giving this money to illegitimate players and stuff like that. So I'm sure they're doing everything they can. They've looked into as much as they can. And then they probably look at this and it's like, can we take, you know what I mean? Like how much can we trust these videos? Right? It's, if one clan is winning a bunch of them and they're being accused of DDoSing by another clan, and let's say that top clan at the time gets disqualified completely, suddenly the other clans now have a better chance of winning.
Well, the main thing is that like they can punish someone, but they can't actually do like Dead Botting was permanently banned from Deadman mode, and he still plays on his main account every season. Yeah, he had 4 or 5 accounts in like two invitationals ago. He had 4 or 5 accounts. He kept getting banned on them, and he made a Twitter post we talked about it, about him going, fuck you, Jagex, stop banning me. He's like, no, they gave you an indefinite ban for having a fucking bot farm, and like, cause he DDoSes too. Like, it's like, they're all just so fucked. I don't know. I feel like Deadman mode's literally bringing out like the worst in like the clanning community.
That's the problem. Like, for me, it's like, as an outside spectator who really isn't in the up and knowing of like what's going on with these clans and some of the high streamers and stuff like that, and I see all this like, he's DDoSing, no he's DDoSing, they're DDoSing, and I'm just sitting in the back there and be like, okay, I guess everyone's DDoSing at this point. This has just become a bit ridiculous.
Well, the main thing is that there's pretty good evidence that they have all DDoSed at some point, but it's like, have they done it in Deadman mode? That's the real question, because there's like straight up proof of like both like all fucking wilderness clans DDoSing people for like max gear, like a solo player just walking out. Same with like this video of like Wiggled, who he logs onto another account. The second he steps out in like Edgeville in a PvP world, he gets hit offline, and a level like 100 with like nothing just jumps on him and just kills him. Or tries to kill him, at least.
What do people do? Is there somebody buying IP addresses from that same person? Like, hey man, allow me to DDoS you, but I'll pay you 100 mil. Oh, that's a good deal. I'll sell you my IP address.
They're all in the same bubble, and they're all using TeamSpeak. And TeamSpeak, you can literally right-click, go to like user info or it's client info, one or the other, and it tells you their IP. It tells you what their ping is. It tells you what their packet loss is. It tells you like everything to do connection-wise.
I sit back and I watch this shit, and I see these videos come out, and you know what I mean? Like even with you talking, I'm sitting there being like, okay, so he's DDoSing, but then he's been accused of DDoSing, and he's been accused of DDoSing, and this whole group of people have been accused by DDoS, and these people have been on the receiving end of being DDoSed, and I'm sitting there being like, stop fucking leaking your IPs. Like, I don't fucking... Like, is it that hard? like
no, it's them being stupid. It's like, so it's not like DDoSing isn't just an old school issue. It happened to like League of Legends and CS:GO. It was a big issue where the online tournaments would happen and like, oh, we got to restart because someone's getting DDoS, and it would happen all the time. And it still happens in like CS:GO, but they like with League, they made a big like kerfuffle, like a big issue about it, and all the streamers were like, and all like the pros were like, all right, we're protecting our IPs, and then it stopped. CS:GO still some issues because you get some like high school kid that like gets in his first little invitational tournament, and like yeah, but it doesn't happen as much because like it's more of like a team based game. I guess you're kind of forced to like make sure, and you can make sure your buddy has his stuff protected properly. But with like old school, it's like it's literally almost impossible to get caught DDoSing.
Yeah. It's
super easy to get away with just cheating in general, like in the game. And like, it's hard to get evidence. So it's like, I don't know, you could say like, oh, it's not like, this is bullshit, but it's like, is it coming from a place of like, it's bullshit, or are you just assuming it's bullshit because you don't understand what's going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
it's a really weird issue that like it's hard to actually know what's going on, and it's something that you'll never actually know. It's just you kind of have to accept that like if you're in a clan and you're in the invitational, like just don't fucking use TeamSpeak.
That's the thing. Like Jagex again, we've talked about this like last episode and tons of times before, but Jagex has come out again, being like, "Hey guys, few ways on how you can prevent yourself from being DDoSed because apparently nobody learns. Stop using TeamSpeak. Stop going on clans forums. And if all else fails, change your IP by calling your internet service provider." Yeah, it's just people are like, "But I don't want to call my internet service provider. I want to use TeamSpeak. I should be able to trust my co-scapers to not have to DDoS me." It's just like, okay, well, I don't know what else to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
a loss
shitty.
of words.
I should mention in the video, I forgot to bring this up. There's probably a lot of things I forgot to brought up. Just because like, a lot of it's kind of like hard to like, this is the actual evidence. You can't get concrete evidence for a lot of this, like for in general, just a lot of this stuff in general. But they did mention like within the logs, they talk about their invitational tournament they had, and how you had to go on the website and whatnot, and that's how they were able to grab a lot of the IPs. One, it makes sense because you think all the best tri-bridders and hybriders would go to this tournament trying to win money.
Sure.
And they're gonna go to the sites. They get like all the best players' IPs, and not all of them are getting DDoS, but there are a good amount that have been, and maybe they're just being stupid about it. Maybe that's not true at all. Like it's kind of, you know what I mean? Like it's like, I don't know. Only way to like, there is DDoSing happening though in Deadman mode, 100%.
Yeah, and it'll continue to happen. You know what I mean?
It will always happen until there's no money. Until there's no money involved.
Even still, it'll still happen because people get enjoyment out of that sort of shit. You know what I mean? It's you'll never fully prevent it unless you just protect your IP. Fine, log onto this website for this clan tournament or whatever. Fine, go ahead and do it. Change your IP afterwards. Call your internet service provider and get it changed. You know what I mean? Like do the work that you have to protect it.
Yeah.
I lock my car doors every night because sure, the part, where I live in my city should be I should be able to trust everyone not to fucking steal shit from my car, but I'm still going to lock my doors every fucking day because I don't want my shit stolen.
Not in my city. 3 of my friends have been car hopped. One of my dudes got he's in a parking, like, underground parking with cameras. Some crackheads snuck in, smashed his window, and stole his dirty gym clothes. And that's the RuneScape clan community.
Must have been name brand.
No, dude, it was like high school clothes. Like you got them, you know what I mean? Like it's like your high school like logo, and then the shorts you get in like grade 9 PE.
Some IRL discontinued items.
Yeah, I'm only bringing that up because it's the equivalent of like the clans in RS.
Yeah,
They're little
so.
DDoS for sweaty gym clothes that are fucking like 8 years old. Anyways.
Yeah, but then my point of, at this point, it's like, well, they fucking stole all my gym clothes. Did you leave your car doors unlocked? Yeah, but I shouldn't have to lock them. Just lock them. But I shouldn't have to. It's the principle. Yes, I agree, but...
We're in your parking garage. It's your responsibility. Yeah, but... What am I going to do if they break our door down and then go in and rob your, car hop, steal your shit? Anyways, that's pretty much it for the Rot News stuff. I don't want to dwell on it too long. You can always go, if you want to like watch the video. It's only like 6 minutes or something, but it's on the Frontlines YouTube channel. Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, again, clanning has changed from when I played. Demonic Shadows, if you're out there, represent. That was my old clan back in the day. Good times, good times. No DDoSing. We stuck with the DDSs.
Nice.
Yeah, that was good. But yeah, the only time you ever really hear about this little inner conflicts of these clans is when this DDoSing shit comes out. So that's why I get a little bit skeptical on it, because you never hear anything else unless it has to do with some shady shit, which, okay, I get it, but at the same time, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. World War III of RuneScape, that's what I think it is. Some cyber warfare.
Yeah, do you want to move on, though?
Yeah, we can move on. I got a few things to talk about, kind of on a brighter note. Well, some of it is. I saw a YouTube video. I saw a video for a very popular game that everyone's probably heard about. It's basically the biggest fad right now. And can you guess what I'm talking about?
Fortnite?
Yeah, you got it. Cool. Yeah, it's really gotten hyped up. But anyways, I saw a trailer for the Fortnite mobile game. So that's right, Fortnite's coming to mobile. And it got me thinking, this could potentially steal a little bit of the thunder from old school RuneScape.
Have you seen mobile? Because there's already been streams and stuff, people playing on mobile.
No, I haven't. Is it good?
Awful.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it will be at first. It is in its beta, but...
Well, it's like a shooter, right? Just the controls and stuff just don't really work.
Might take some time to getting used to and whatnot. But the only thing is, when we were talking about old school RuneScape coming to mobile, and why I was really excited was because this was going to be... I play a lot of mobile games, and this is going to be like a very polished game. It's going to be probably one of the best MMOs available on your mobile phone, and it's going to be one of the best free-to-play mobile MMOs out there. There's a ton of MMOs, but not only are they kind of, they're a little, they might not be the greatest, but on top of that, a lot of them are pay to win, where it's like, yeah, microtransactions. Sure, you have the membership for old school RuneScape, but free-to-play old school RuneScape, that by itself is a fantastic game. I thoroughly enjoyed myself back in the day when I never even stepped into the members zone and I was only a free-to-play player. I thoroughly enjoyed myself playing RuneScape. And I guarantee you, most people who are listening right now are kind of agreeing in that sense, because we wouldn't be a member if we didn't enjoy the free-to-play, right? Most people. So, yeah, that's the thing. Most MMORPGs, they have the pay-to-win, but it's usually buying something to speed up your gaming experience. You're basically playing the same servers as someone who's playing for free as someone who's paying money. Whereas RuneScape, they're kind of two separate games. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's why I was excited. It was going to potentially bring in a lot of new players, because they're going to be like, oh, I wouldn't play RuneScape on my computer, or maybe I don't have a computer to play RuneScape, but I play a lot of mobile games, and boom, RuneScape's coming to mobile. Let me try this out. Wow, it's super polished. This game's actually really well done for a mobile game, and the free-to-play part is not like all the other mobile games out there. Anyways, I saw this Fortnite coming out, where Fortnite is in a similar category, where I've played it on my PlayStation 4 a few times. I'm not a huge fan of the game, but that's just because I'm bad at it, and I get my ass kicked all the time, and I can only take so much shit talk from 12-year-olds until it starts getting to you. Mm-hmm. I just throw my headset off, and I'm done with this game. But I have to say, though, the fact that it's like all free to play for the most part, it's really well done. It makes it a really great game that's free compared to some of the other games. League of Legends is also in the same category in that sense.
Yeah. I think the main thing is like the Fortnite's main demographic. I mean, of course, there's like everyone's fucking playing it, but it's like this is like the second, or I guess technically third, but pretty much like the second big gaming wave. I guess third if you include WoW. Let's just say WoW's the first, right? It's like the first big gaming phenomenon. But like the real one was like Minecraft, how it's the second most sold game in the world.
What's
Tetris being number one.
Tetris?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's badass.
But yeah, so Minecraft's second most sold game in the world. It's so big that like it's like taught in like you go to school as a little kid now and you have shit on like Minecraft to do.
Sure.
Like I have a friend who like does teaching for like with little kids and they have classes of like Minecraft.
They have Minecraft classes?
Yeah. It's not like, okay, I have gym, math, and Minecraft. They like implement Minecraft within like education.
You know, I could see that.
Microsoft bought it and they made like specific things for education. Anyways, and like Minecraft is like not that popular anymore in terms of like how it used to be.
No, it kind of died down a bit. Great game, by the way. I remember, I think you're the one who told me about it when it was in beta. I bought it for $5.
Yeah,
I still have the full version.
Alpha or some shit. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, and I still have that. It's the full version now. That's how you do an early access game. You sell it for cheaper than what it's going to be.
Yeah. What was the point I was going to get? Oh, yeah. So, like, at one point, it was, like, over 250 million subscribers on, like, with Minecraft-related channels on YouTube, right?
Yep, okay.
And now, if you look at Fortnite's going in the exact same trajectory as Minecraft, and Minecraft was, like, plummeted a while ago. And you look at Twitch, and, like, fucking Ninja's getting, like, the more viewers than, like, the League of Legends tournaments, which always dominated.
Yeah, I saw him,
He was streaming with Drake at one point.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't watch Twitch too often, but every now and then I'll jump on, see what the most popular channels are, click on one of them just to see what's going on. He had 100,000 viewers.
Yeah.
100,000 viewers watching at one time.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, that's not the point I'm making. Is like the point that like the main majority of players on that game are like from the Minecraft wave.
Yeah.
Does this make sense? Through that demographic where like they're like I mean, like, I play Fortnite and stuff, but, like, not as much. Like, Runescape's still my main game and stuff, and I haven't even touched Fortnite this week, but, like, main reason why I bring this up is that it's the fucking Minecraft wave hit, and then now it's Fortnite, but they're in different areas, and right now it's a big fad, and you play Fortnite on PC, like, yeah, this is pretty fun. And then you play it on Xbox, and you're like, this is annoying. I can't fucking stand how shitty the controls are, just because it's a shooter on a controller. It's awful.
I don't mind it I don't mind the controls, to be honest, but...
Yeah, but you're a noob. I'm kidding.
No, it's true. I can't play games with skill anymore. I can't play those shooter games.
I can't play on Xbox. I need a mouse and a keyboard. But, like, the point I'm making is that, like, if you go down from, like, I was watching a dude play mobile... like a streamer who's like in the beta and he's like advertising for the mobile, dude, it is so fucked. Like, if like ever try playing a shooter on a phone, like I thought a controller was bad. Like the phone is awful. And the main reason I bring that up is that like it's not gonna last on the phone. Like there's no way. It's gonna drain the fuck out of your battery. It's gonna destroy your battery. It's gonna be really, really frustrating. And then someone's gonna be like, oh man, Fortnite's out for the phone. I don't even play games on my phone, but I have it on PS4 or Xbox, and I love Fortnite. You play it, you get really frustrated on how shitty the controls are. You're like, man, I'm way better on Xbox. And you're like, man, I want to go check out other games. And then you look at the mobile games, and you see, like, RuneScape is right up there. And you're like, fuck, I remember RuneScape, or I remember my brother playing RuneScape. You know what I mean? Like, something like that, where, like, RuneScape's in that area where, like, it kind of tags both demographics for, like, us. Like, RuneScape was our Minecraft. You know what I mean? Like, we were at the library playing it, and, like... it was our Minecraft back then, and like a lot of people that like listen also play Fortnite, or people that just play Fortnite played RS at one point, and I'm thinking mobile will actually help RuneScape. That's why I went on the whole tangent, because like I go from PC to Xbox and I play Fortnite on Xbox and I get pissed and I just want to go on my computer and play Fortnite. If someone does that on mobile and they're out and like, man, this game's pissing me off. I can't do anything. I can't build on the phone. I want to go home and play it on my Xbox. And then you just go and play another game. You want to do something on your phone. You're bored already, but you want to play a game. You look at other games to download. Or maybe while you're downloading Fortnite, you see RuneScape that is, it's not 30 fucking gigs or I don't know how big the game's going to be on the mobile, but
yeah, my only thing is it's still in beta, so they have a chance to make it better. And you see this a lot with like console games where it becomes like this race where Battlefield 1 is coming out and so is the new Call of Duty, and suddenly the new Battlefield game is so much more, the trailer is a lot more hyped up than the Call of Duty, and next thing you know, COD might take a hit because just the release comes out. Most people might pick one game over the other. You see it with movies where a really the new Batman versus Superman movie's coming out and everyone's like, oh, I know that. And this, I'm looking forward to this one. But then beside it is this new movie that you don't really know the name of, but turns out it's 10 times better. I know it's a bit subjective, but let's just say it's just 10 times better than Batman vs. Superman, but it goes unnoticed because everyone's going to this other movie. So There's always these companies trying to release things kind of like strategically to either release it before the next big game so they can steal all the thunder, or they release it, or they have to, okay, now we got to wait a few months because this game just came out. We don't want to release it too close because people might not even see it. So that's what it just made me think of.
Honestly, my opinion of mobile, I used to think, man, mobile's going to bring in like hundreds of thousands of people, like 30, 50,000 people. I kind of I'm starting to feel like mobile's coming out to keep the players playing, not so much to bring in new players. It's to like at least keep you subscribed at the minimum.
I feel like it's a bit of both. They're going to be hitting this whole new demographic of people that just play mobile games, or at least this game might make it more appealing where like someone's like, nah, I'm going to be playing some other games on my PC if I'm on my PC, but then they see RuneScape. Maybe I'll try RuneScape on the phone though, because, I'm kind of bored of all my games. And if you're like me, you download sometimes you download like 5 games because you're like, oh, these are free and they look all right. I'll try them out. You try them out and you're like, not very good. And you end up deleting them, but one game might stick and RuneScape might be that one for some people. And next thing you know, they're like, maybe I will try it on my computer because I do want to try this boss Obor, and I'm afraid of not doing it properly on my cell phone. So they jump it on the computer, and boom, you've been hooked on all platforms.
Yeah. To segue this, because I think we pretty much hit all the points with the mobile stuff, but to segue this, to like the next thing is, do you know the MMORPG as streamer, Curtis?
Yes.
Imagine, okay, so he spent over 1,700 hours grinding Corp for an Ellie.
Oh, we're back on the Corp talk.
Yeah, and he got it this week after over 1,700 hours. He finished at like 60 or 6,061 or something ish kills of Corp.
Damn.
Over 1,700 hours. Imagine doing that on mobile though.
Shit.
Fuck that. No, but like seriously, congrats to him. I think he's the first Ironman to have every single drop from Corp.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
17.
Yeah, congratulations,
dude. It's weird though, because like every time I've watched him, he just like I watched the tail end of his Dragon Warhammer grind, and I don't watch him all the time, but I'll go in and pop in like every now and again and watch him for a bit, and he's just always been doing Corp, and now like I mean, congrats to him, he finally got the item, but like. It's super. I watched him a bit today, and he was killing wyverns. Now he's going for all the visages. He was killing the ancient, the fossil wyverns. I don't know. It's super weird just watching his content not be Corp anymore.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I just want to give him a little shout out to that before you move on, because pretty big accomplishment.
Yeah, congrats. That's pretty crazy. Not something I can do. Hell, I can barely do agility for 5 hours. I can't
do 240 sire kills in like a month and a bit.
No, that's just the way she goes. To each their own.
Yeah.
Trying to think if I've got anything else. I saw in RuneScape 3 that if you don't know, they have changed the tutorial to that game like multiple different times. Right now you do like a mini quest, which it's actually not too bad. I went back and made a new account a while ago just to try out RS3 in general, because I got overwhelmed on my new account. It was kind of interesting the way they did the tutorial island there, but from what I've seen, I think there's like a new quest or something. We can go back to Tutorial Island and uncover some mysteries of that island, and they've thought about bringing that tutorial back, so that's kind of cool. Something interesting to note. Yeah, besides that, that's basically it for community stuff and news. And I guess streamer talk. There's a lot of streamer talk this episode. We normally don't do that, do we?
No, not really.
It's the way she goes, I guess. I guess that's about it. I think we should move on. What do you say?
Yeah, I think it's time.
All right, well, exactly. It is that time for... So this week for lore, I believe we're going to be wrapping up the topic of all the different races in RuneScape, leaving the very last one being the Mahjarrat. Many people may be unfamiliar with this race, as you don't see too many of them nowadays, but they are an ancient and very powerful race. They are extremely strong with magical abilities, being able to shapeshift and can live for at least several millennia, unless they are killed by external means. Since they are able to live for such long periods of time, this allows them to hone their magical abilities and is basically why they are as strong as they are. They are experts when it comes to necromancy and manipulating the Shadow Realm. So something we haven't really talked too much about, and things might get a little confusing, but in RuneScape there are several different types of realms. So I'm not sure if they all work this way, but from my understanding, it works sort of like a sandwich. This might not be the best analogy, but using this analogy, Gielinor could be thought of as basically the meat, which is the main part of the sandwich. There are different realms that kind of overlay on top of the one we currently play in for the most part. The Shadow Realm basically runs parallel with Gielinor, but it is hidden to us. If something is within the Shadow Realm, it is not visible to any person on Gielinor. But there are some ways that allow us and others to see into this realm. Certain gods are able to look into this realm at any time, as well as Mahjarrats. Whereas us, just normal beings on Gielinor, the item, the Ring of Visibility, does allow us to see into it and see certain parts of that realm. There are a few other realms, as well as dimensions, where realms are basically another type of Gielinor, whereas dimensions is almost like a whole nother area that is not a part of Gielinor. Gets a bit confusing. If you've ever played like Dungeons and Dragons or anything like that, you can think of the Shadow Realm being very similar to the Underdark. Or if you're a fan of Stranger Things, the Upside Down. You can think of dimensions as being sides to your sandwich, like fries and a drink maybe. It's a pretty bad example. I don't know why I went with that one, but too late now. Anyways, back to the Mahjarrat. They are often a very manipulative race, and were, and still are, the few that remain, constantly seeking powers in many various ways, either by gaining loyalty of followers, or through knowledge and magical items. They are not a race that is often trusted, even amongst themselves. Over centuries, the Mahjarrat's magical abilities and powers slowly begin to fade, but they are able to replenish this through their rituals. When the stars align, the Mahjarrat must sacrifice one of their own. If they do not do this, their magical abilities and powers will not replenish, and their magical abilities is what causes them to live for as long as they do. So if they do not partake in the ritual and do not sacrifice one of themselves, they would eventually die. Today, there are very few amount of Mahjarrat left. Originally, they came from a realm known as the Feneskre. This realm is believed to be very much like the wilderness, a desolate, barren, and dangerous place. It was originally the homeworld of the gods Zeros and Seren. The Mahjarrat had lived in that realm until the Second Age, where the desert god Icthlaren went to retrieve them to aid him in his battle against the god Zeros. Sometime after the original battle, most of the Mahjarrat abandoned Icthlaren to join Zeros, presumably because of the strength Zeros had shown in his battle against them. After joining his side, they rose to become one of the most influential races in the Zerosian Empire, where many of the high positions within the empire were occupied by the Mahjarrats. Eventually, one of Zeros' top generals betrayed him. We are all very familiar with this character, and he is known as the Mahjarrat Zamorak. In the conflict between Zeros and Zamorak, Zamorak eventually killed Zeros and was able to steal most of his power, which then allowed him to ascend to godhood. This event marked the very beginning of the God Wars, while also splitting the Mahjarrat between many of them joining Zamorak, while many others remained loyal to Zeros. Most of the Mahjarrat were killed during the God Wars, while many others left Gielinor itself, in turn leaving very few left in the world and other realms. And to this day, they are all but forgotten. A few still remain, as I had mentioned, but are either hiding or using their shape-shifting abilities to blend in with society. So that is it for the Mahjarrat race. And there you go, there's some lore. I think we're wrapping up the races with that one, and I believe next week, unless I can find another race that's kind of interesting to talk about. A lot of them don't have information. I've been trying to find a few here and there, like things like trolls and giants and demons, but they kind of lack in actual lore, which is a shame, but it is what it is. But that being said, if we're done with races, I think it's fair that we move on to kind of the history of Gielinor and RuneScape, as in we'll start going through all the different ages, which there's 5 of them, so yeah, if there's a particular part of old school RuneScape lore that you're interested in, let me know, and we will definitely look into that. I've had some people mention certain quest lines, which I have made some notes on, because a lot of those would be cool to do. I've even thought about making a new account where I can go through them myself and actually read the dialogue, kind of first-hand experience. Yeah, in the near future, I suppose. And with all that being said, I think it's time we kind of bring this one home. So, the past couple weeks now, the past couple episodes, we've been talking about Bhooley doing a giveaway for his dwarf cannon. None of the information's really changed, but it should be coming up in the upcoming weeks. So, if you want to stay clued in with that, check us out on Discord at the events channel, or check us out on Twitter and Facebook. I will be posting updates on there when we hear them. Yeah, keep your eye out for that to win yourself a dwarf cannon miniature. That thing looks badass, and it should be fun. And there'll probably be some old school RuneScape items given away during that as well. So if you don't win the dwarf cannon, who knows, you might walk away with some items as well for you to spend or sell or do whatever with.
To double?
What's that? Yeah, to get it doubled, you can basically do whatever you want, really, I guess.
Hit me up.
I'll give away and you can double it, and shit. Become
You'll
full
stake
circle.
half, I'll double half. We'll quadruple their money. That's how it works, right?
Shit, it's free money. Yeah, it's a cash machine. It prints out the gold pieces. But all right, you might be wondering, what is the Twitter or Facebook or your Discord so we can stay in contact and keep track of all this stuff? Well, funny you should ask. Our Twitter is @TheWildernessRS. Facebook is facebook.com/TheWildernessPodcast. Our in-game clan chat is WildCC. Our email is thewildernesspodcast@gmail.com, all one word. And our Discord is posted on both Facebook and Twitter, so you can come hang out with us there. One day, maybe we'll get partnered and we'll have our own discord.gg/wildpodcast.
Boys.
Wild boys, there it is. Whatever
Wild
it is.
People.
Wild people.
We don't discriminate.
Wild things?
Nice. Where the wild things are?
Oh, that's a good book. But anyways, speaking of where the wild things are, do you have a Twitter or a Twitch channel you want to advertise?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Oh, good joke.
Nice.
Deagin RS, that's my Twitch and my Twitter.
That is it. All right. Well, with that being said, I feel like I say that too much. I think we should get on out of here.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening to episode 77, and catch us next week for 78.
Yep. All right, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you, and good night.